The downside to owning an electric car, specifically a Tesla in my case, is the long trips. What if I told you that I think it takes longer to fill up a gas tank than it does to charge a Tesla? Hi, my name is Levi Spires, and this is the Tip You in the App Daily Drive. In this episode, what I'll do is I'll definitely explain my math behind that and prove to you that I think it takes longer to fill up a gas tank than it does to charge a car. Then, on top of it, I'll go over my ride of the week. And for you Uber drivers, you may or may not like this, I don't know. And then I'm going to answer your questions. I got some really good questions. Now, why do I think it takes longer to fill up a gas tank than it does to charge a car? Because it's obvious. It takes longer to charge a car than to fill it up. Let me give you an example. If my Tesla gets to 0% battery and I go to a supercharger to fill it up, like the fastest ones, and I need to get to 100% for whatever reason, it's going to take, I don't know, an hour. If the weather's really bad, like really cold, it might take an hour and 20 minutes. And I'm going to compare it to a RAV4, but a RAV4 with 40 miles per gallon, a hybrid RAV4, it's going to take, I don't know, 7 minutes to put umpteen gallons of gas in the car if it's at zero and it needs to get a full tank. So what am I comparing? What am I really comparing? And I think what I want to say is that over the life of the vehicle, you're going to spend more time at a gas station than you're going to spend charging your car. And that's the analysis, that the comparison that I want to make. And so why did I pick a Tesla Model Y and a Toyota RAV4? Well, they're two of the most selling cars in America today. I think there's a Ford and a Chevy Silverado. Those are 1 and 2. And then I think the RAV4 is the third most selling car in America. Then the Tesla Model Y is the fourth most selling car. And they're about the same. The Tesla is about $3,000 to $4,000 more if you were to compare a limited hybrid Toyota RAV4 to it. And the reason why I say limited is because of leather seats and some of the other things. The Tesla has more space in the vehicle, more cargo space, bigger legroom and things like that. It's faster, a lot faster. But the hybrid Toyota RAV4 can go a lot more. I think it's like 550 miles. I don't know what the exact number is, where a Tesla Model Y long range is going to get like 350 miles of range. So you can drive your Toyota farther distances. I don't know about suspension or anything like that. And I don't really care if you want to buy a Tesla or not. That's not my point. I just think I hear it all the time, this complaint that it's like the negative to owning an electric car is that it takes too long to charge it. And I don't think that's really a problem for most people. Let me give you the math. I'm going to break it down in a spreadsheet because I love spreadsheets. All right. So again, the cars are roughly about the same price. The range is 357 on a Tesla. It's 580 on a Toyota RAV4. The tank is 14.5 gallons on the RAV4, and at 40 miles per gallon, if you get the hybrid version, you're going to go a long way, like 580 miles. Now, in this scenario, I want to put some numbers together, so bear with me. Let's assume you have a 35-mile commute to work. It could be whatever, but I just picked 35 miles. So 35 miles into the city, 35 miles home. You do that 5 days a week. And then on the weekend, you drive another, 250 miles, whatever the number is. That's 600 miles every single week that you're going to be driving. That's a lot of miles. That's 30,000 miles a year. Now, the Tesla owner in that scenario doesn't ever have to go to a charging station. If they charge at home, they're going to wake up in the morning with more than enough range to get to work, get home. And on that 250-mile trip, they have more than enough range to get to the place they want to go and come home. That's just not an issue with electric cars. Now, some electric cars have less range and some other things like that. But comparing these two cars, it's just really not a big deal. But That 600 miles a week means the RAV4 owner is going to have to go to a gas station. And it takes, on average, to go from 0 to 100, fill up your gas tank, about 7 minutes. That doesn't include waiting for a gas pump if you go to a busy one. If you go into the gas station and get, I don't know, me, I would go get candy. I'm pretty addicted to, I like Mike and Ike's. So when I go to a gas station, I'm always going in to get a bag of candy, which is not good, as evidence. So, but that just 7 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes if you get there and there's like nobody there and you have a quick pay way and your tank isn't empty. Maybe it takes 5 minutes to pull in, pull out or whatever. Or obviously it's going to take longer with the Tesla. But if you don't have to charge anywhere, you just wake up in the morning with a charge, costs nothing. But that's not the real issue. The downside to owning an electric car, specifically a Tesla in my case, is the long trips. That's where we're going to do this here. So let's assume that our scenario, the Tesla versus the RAV4, the person that owns those cars has to go on a 750-mile road trip. Actually, it's 1,500 twice a year. In July, they drive 750 miles to their mom and dad's house, and then they drive back. So 1,500 miles twice a year, another 3,000 miles. Those road trips are really going to show the differences between the two cars. A 1,500-mile road trip, 750 miles there, 750 miles back. The Tesla is going to have to stop almost 3.5 hours. An hour, and I think what it was, I think I came to the number was an hour and 44 minutes on the way down and an hour and 44 minutes on the way up. And the way I came up with that analysis was I just measured a city that's 750 miles from my house, and that's Charlotte, North Carolina. I live in Cazenovia, New York. To get to Charlotte, it's 750 miles. And in the Tesla app, I can put where I want to go and I say, here's the battery condition of it, my car, whatever, and it'll just tell me where I need to stop to charge the car. And it said on that road trip, I have to stop for 14 minutes at Sugarloaf, 22 minutes at Carlisle, 19 minutes at Strasburg, 39 minutes at Lexington to charge my car, and then 10 minutes at Mount Airy to charge my car for an hour and 44 minutes. And again, that's 750 miles to Charlotte. I have to drive home, so another hour and 44 minutes. And then if I do that twice a year, once in July, once in December, that totals 6 hours and 56 minutes, 7 hours of charging. Now, again, in my day-to-day use of the electric car, it means nothing. But on the road trip, it's going to take time. And that's the downside to owning an electric car. But again, that's not the case that I wanted to make, is it? I said that the person that owns the RAV4 doing something very similar, doing 33,000 miles in a year, they're going to spend actually 7 minutes to fill up their gas tank every single time. They're going to get about 522 miles of range. That means they're going to do 63 fill-ups every single year. That's 7 hours and 23 minutes at the pump. So that's, by the way, that's 825 gallons of gas at $3 a gallon. That's $2,475 in fuel, where the Tesla is only going to spend, if they're charging mostly at home and using my rates and stuff like that, about $1,400. So the RAV4 is going to cost an additional $1,000 a year just in fuel. So there you go. It actually levels out. So I understand the argument and I agree looking at it. If I just had to go from 0 to 100% in my battery and you had to fill up your gas tank, filling up your gas tank always wins. But if you own a car, a Tesla, and you own a house or whatever, you charge at home overnight, you never think about it. I drive a lot of miles on my Tesla. I'm having to go to superchargers all the time. I'm an Uber driver, and I probably charge once or twice a day. I do 300-400 miles every single day. I'm out there Uber driving. So it is a thing. I have to think about it. It's not easy, but I'm a rare case. And I think these long road trips are a rare case. So that's the point. If you have to do a lot of miles like I do every single day, think about it. Is a Tesla or is an EV worth it? If you're doing 300-400 miles every single day, that's a deal. Or if you have to do a lot of long road trips, let's say you do a road trip every single month and time matters a lot to you, an electric car may not be the right solution for you. However, for most Americans, you're just driving to work from work. You're going to the grocery store. You're just around town. You might do 1 or 2 road trips a year. Maybe you just rent a car for those for those road trips if it matters that much to you. But you really don't have to charge your car. For us at our house, we actually have 2 cars. We have a Prius. That's like I'm saving the environment with my 2 cars. But I have a Prius that if I need to do a lot of long road trips, I could just jump in that car. And then I have a Tesla. And I think that's kind of the big solution for most people is maybe to have both right now. But to wrap this up here, I think that people exaggerate because they don't like Teslas. They don't like Elon. They don't like Trump or whatever. I don't know. They just they like to roll smoke in their diesel truck. And I get that. I'm fine with that. I'm not against it. But they just try to use that as a reason why. Oh, it takes too long to fill up your gas tank. Or you charge your car or whatever. And it just doesn't. It just doesn't. For most people, most of the time. I don't know. What do you think? Let's jump into the second segment, my ride of the week. And this is actually 2 rides. Let me jump into that. Okay. So earlier on a Saturday night, I got a ride that was going to pay me $4.32. It was basically a 2 minutes pickup and a 6-minute drop off. I was down in Ithaca. It was really good. Okay. Excuse me. It wasn't really good. It was really bad. It was just a $4 ride. It was whatever. I analyzed it, that trip. And guess what? The passenger paid about $12. I got $4 and Uber got about $4. So I got about a third of the fare. Now, that's not sustainable in the long run for me. It's good for Uber. Maybe it's good for the passenger, $12 short little trip. But let me compare that, almost the exact same trip. And about an hour later, there was a surge, a $26 surge. And I took about the exact same trip. Again, about a 6-minute trip. And I made $32 on that trip because I got a tip on top of it. The other trip didn't tip me, but this trip did. But Uber lost $23 on this trip. And that got me thinking. I love the $26 surge. It was great. It's just not sustainable for Uber to do that. They can't lose $23 on every single trip. They can't. So they have to make $4 on the other trip. I'm not defending Uber's take rate or whatever else it is. I'm just trying to explain it and understand it at this point in time because it is a thing. It feels unfair when somebody pays $12 and I get $4. That feels unfair. But I imagine Uber thinks it's unfair when Levi gets $32 and they lose $23 and the passenger only paid $13 for about the same trip. So these things are not sustainable, right? And so I do understand what Uber is trying to do. They're trying to manage load. They need drivers out there ready when people need trips. And they're going to give us token trips during those times, like that $4 trip for here or there. And then all of a sudden there's surges, and those surges are both on the driver and the passenger side. They need to manage that load, and they're going to lose money on those trips because there's no way a passenger is going to pay $50 to go, a mile or whatever. It's just not in the long run. So they're going to eat that cost, and they're going to get it back another time. Uber's going to get it back another time. They're trying to load manage so they can demonstrate profitability. I understand that. Are there fairer ways to do it? Maybe. Why didn't the passenger pay more? I think because I grabbed that surge, and then the surge died after I grabbed it. And then the next person that ordered a ride, there wasn't a surge, and I just happened to get it. But another passenger somewhere along the way paid. And a driver may not have made that big of a surge. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but to me, I at least understand it. This is not to defend Uber's take rate. This is not to say it feels good or whatever. It does suck, again, to see a $12 fare paid and I make $4. But I can't go, wow, look at me. I just made a $26 surge and Uber lost $23. So it's going to take them 5 trips where they make roughly the same amount as the driver, the $4, to make up for that loss. Maybe 6 rides, because they lost $23. They're going to have to show profitability. So maybe 6 rides where they get, 33% gross margin. I don't know. Let me know what you think on that. That's a pretty interesting topic. We could probably dive deeper into that another time. But those are my rides, and I was really happy because I didn't get any other surges the rest of the night. I just got that one $26 surge. The rest of the time, I just made base fare. So that was pretty cool. Let's jump into your questions here. Okay, Kathleen. Hi. Wait, I've seen you all over the channel and I super appreciate it. Thank you. I love the engagement with the people that are Thrive members, and thank you, Kathleen. She asked about customer service and how did I actually talk to somebody? I am not a proponent of being a diamond driver. I don't think you should take crappy rides and increase your acceptance rate just to get diamond status. There are certain features that people like. I think some people like the free college or whatever. However, that being said, is if you are a diamond driver, which I am not, by the way, you get to talk to people. You can call customer service, and it's not as easy as it used to be, but it's pretty good. And I think Kathleen saw one of my older videos when I was a diamond driver, and I called customer service and I talked to somebody, and it's kind of nice. It is a nice thing. And so if you have a lot of problems in your area and you need a lot of customer service, maybe once or twice or 3 times a week, I don't know, maybe being a diamond driver. It's easier for me to be a diamond driver because I drive in a small city, Syracuse, Ithaca, Binghamton, Elmira. Those are all easy for me to drive. They're very short trips. And so I can just take a high acceptance rate. And then for whatever reason in upstate New York, our acceptance rate is only requirement is 70%. We see the upfront fare no matter what. It doesn't really matter. So, Kathleen, that's how I did it. I was a diamond driver, and I do a lot of trips. I drive full time, and I had diamond customer service. So that might be helpful to you. Uncrace asked if Uber uses real-time maps. I think they do. This weekend, when I was down in Ithaca again, there was a pipe break in the main part of the city. And a trip that would normally take 7 minutes to go from Ithaca College to the downtown area would take like 10, 15 minutes because you had to loop around and there was traffic. And there was on the map, it showed where the pipe break was. On the Uber map, there's like a little red line where the road is closed. And then on top of it, the fares were estimated to take longer. So instead of being 7 minutes, the fares were being estimated to take 12, 15 minutes. So yeah, I think it does use real time in the Uber map. Again, I drive in such a small area sometimes, like on the east side of Syracuse. I don't need a map. So I couldn't imagine driving in New York City or Los Angeles, these massive cities, Houston, where it take you an hour to go across town or whatever. So I can't recommend a map of Google Maps or Waze or whatever else. I don't know. I just use the Uber app and I pretty much know where I'm going. But it does do real time, the best I can tell. So there is that. Mr. Duapo, I think that's what it says, asked, how can I keep my acceptance rate up? Well, like I said, I just drive in a small area. I take a lot of short, small trips, a lot of $4 trips, hoping to get a tip, building up to the end of the night where there might be a surge. So I'm still making a little bit of money. One of the downsides of me is that I don't live close to the Uber market. If I turn the Uber app on here at my house, I might get 1 or 2 trips a day. So I have to drive 30 minutes, 40 minutes into Syracuse or 40 minutes, an hour into Binghamton or down to Ithaca or whatever. So I get to these smaller cities. Ithaca is a great example where almost all the trips are 15 minutes long. And there's no real benefit to like declining trips. It's not like these sweet cherries or whatever that people talk about. So it's just easy for me to take a lot of trips. I still am, my acceptance rate's only like 40 something percent right now. So I do decline a lot of trips, but it's more about passenger ratings and specific addresses that I don't want to go to. I'll give you a good example. I'll do everything in my power at Cornell University to not take a law student. I just don't take them. And I know kind of where their apartments are. The MBA students too. Law students and MBA students, because they don't tip. And they're always late to come to the car. So I just know an apartment complex that I think half of them are law students and MBA students. There's like a neighborhood. I'm like, so I'll decline trips to there if it doesn't matter what the fare pays, because I just don't think I'm going to get a tip. And tips matter a lot. Tips are my surges. If there's not a lot of surges on the map, that's what I do. So that's how I keep my acceptance rate up. But it's only 49%. I think we get all of the data, the trip information up front. So, it doesn't matter what my acceptance rate has been as low as 1%, and I still get all the trip information up front, where we're going, stuff like that. And each state, New York had a lawsuit, and I think that's part of it. So I just get all the information up front. It doesn't matter. There you go. Hey, drivers, for 2025, I want you to drive your way. I really do. I don't know how you should drive, because I don't know what your requirements are. I don't know your car. I don't know your city. I don't know what it's like to drive in Dallas or Seattle. I have no idea. So you drive your way. Doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to other people and take their advice or try to analyze things. I think you should. And I hope that my channel shows you how I analyze things. But probably the way that you're doing it is probably working for you. And don't feel like the way you're doing it is wrong. Question, but enjoy it. Enjoy it. I want you to enjoy the ride. I want you to be safe, healthy, and happy. I want you to make a lot of money if you can. Yeah, but enjoy the ride. Be well, be safe. Know that I'm cheering for you. Bye.